My name is Crypto Bitcoin Chris. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please go ahead, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, comment below, and hit that bell for notifications. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is all entirely my opinion. Always do your own research. Jumping right into the markets. Green day today. EOS has been killing it today. Mainnet launching it, price spiked. It was up 20% at one point. Let's see, Eternity's up about 11, almost 12%. BitShares is up over 10%. So it's definitely been a good run for all these coins over the last 5 days or so. So definitely good to see. Here's Bitcoin. So basically, I've got this blue resistance line drawn. We need Bitcoin to break through this resistance and then continue higher. So again, I'm looking at about 8,000 at least. And then I feel like we may pull back and move lower, come back and retest some lows near 7,000. So just be mindful of that, possibly put some stops in. Also want to talk about, so EOS, they completed snapshots today. This was a comment from a gentleman from the EOS Authority. He states, "Thanks everyone. Glad the team here at EOS Authority managed to pull this off in about an hour and 10 minutes. We now have to wait patiently for the rest of the BPs to create their own versions, compare, and then proceed. This can be complex and might require some manual intervention. We spent a lot of time getting our servers synced up in advance to get going as soon as the periods were completed. Hopefully we will know how all the different snapshots fare in a while. I'm Rohan from EOS Authority, now in London, and I'm off to bed soon, 1:30 a.m. So good to see EOS moving forward. By this time of night, it's probably mainnet functioning. So this is Philocone. He actually tweeted this on Twitter. It's a head and shoulders pattern on EOS. So basically, you've got your left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder. Typically, you'll get a significant downtrend after head and shoulders pattern. So I actually went and looked at EOS, and it's still kind of holding right here. But if it plays out, we'll move considerably lower. So see how that goes. Definitely, it's a great time. Taking some profits. I was working with a lot of the patrons today, or at least conversing with them, chatting with them in Telegram. And definitely I encourage, biggest thing, a lot of people have been down in crypto because they haven't taken any profits. Even if it means just keeping a tight stop loss and moving it higher and higher, and then getting stopped out. That's one way to take profits. Or just sell off, 50% or 25% of your holdings just to pull those profits off the table. The Monero Zero, I found this, tweeted on Twitter. I actually crossed a lot of this out because it's a complete scam. There is a Monero Zero. I actually looked it up. But this is, in Reddit, they were laughing because basically it says to deposit Monero XMR and subsequently claim your Monero Zero, ZMR, you send your Monero to your unique deposit address below. So anytime you have to send your coins out of your possession, you might as well kiss them goodbye because it ain't happening. Just know it's a scam whenever anyone asks you to do that. So they're all laughing in Reddit. They said, you send your Monero and you get 0 Monero back. None. Get none back. Bittrex CEO says XRP is not a security. So according to their legal team and US-based and independent lawyers, he said they did a complete legal review of every altcoin they list to make sure they're on firm legal ground for trading in the United States. Obviously, the U.S. market is huge for a lot of these cryptocurrencies and exchanges especially. So again, they just want to be in good legal standing and continue to do business here. Let's say Bitfinex just really didn't want to deal with it, and so they stopped allowing new customers from the United States. Bitcoin candy dispenser reveals sweet future for Bitcoin micropayments. So there's a Swiss coder who's proven all Bitcoin pessimists wrong by developing a candy dispenser with Bitcoin as its only accepted payment method. Once the small device gets information about incoming Bitcoin transactions via the blockchain.info, they will dispense the exact number of candies for which have been paid. My first thought is, you come in the grocery store, you pay for this, and you might be lucky to get it on your way out, because it does take a little bit of time to send Bitcoin right now. So obviously it's going to talk about this. The Lightning Network is obviously going to be the key to this. So although the device succeeded in fulfilling its primary objective of receiving Bitcoin as payments for its candy, the fact remains there's still more work to be done in the areas of transaction fees and transaction processing time. That he would transform his invention by developing another method that would be powered by the Bitcoin Lightning Network. So just to recap about Bitcoin Lightning Network, there was a Japan. It's going to be a lot faster than what Bitcoin is right now. But in a nutshell, Japan-based electricity provider. They're the third most significant power company. They've successfully trialed Lightning-powered payments for charging customers' electric cars. Also in the same month, Lightning Labs announced the launch of a beta version of the Lightning Network, Daemon, a software that makes it easier for developers to access a second layer protocol. This release is a step forward for the network itself. What I mean is, before all the apps, we need to build a healthy network that has liquidity, reliability, uptime, nodes, healthy channels, etc. So in February 2018, the gentleman who bought 2 pizzas with 10,000 Bitcoin in 2010, he was at it again. He used Lightning Network this time to pay for the pizzas to test the efficiency of the network. So again, I saw this and I thought, you know what? I really can only imagine what it's going to be like when there's all this mainstream adoption. I mean, could you imagine just walking in and paying for anything at the store, candy or whatever? So it's just exciting, that we're all here in the beginning of cryptocurrency. Lisk. So Lisk they stopped blockchain over some security concerns. They responded with a fix, so it kind of halted. Ironically, yesterday we were reporting about Visa's network coming down. So Lisk, they halted all processes over an automated security measure. The CEO of Lisk mentioned that all funds were safe and a fix was implemented. So due to an individual broadcasting a faulty transaction to the Lisk network, triggered a rare edge case scenario bug where the transaction was deemed invalid and went through, or it was deemed valid and went through every node. It was mentioned to be a maliciously customized piece of code that utilized a previously undiscovered bug in the system. So security measurements built into the Lisk core that were meant to prevent the blockchain from forking triggered in response to the malicious code. This resulted in all the nodes in the blockchain preventing the processing of new blocks. So it resulted in a complete halt of the Lisk network. There were 150 transactions in limbo. They were not included in the blockchain. The transactions will not be rebroadcast to the blockchain over security concerns. So the funds in these 150 transactions, they've actually been frozen as well. So the fix has been implemented, taken care of. They have a new Lisk core released and will resolve the issues and restore normal operations of the blockchain. So good job to Lisk for moving quickly to take care of that. So MIT graduates will receive blockchain diplomas this month. If you've ever had to get some of your school records from college, it's kind of a pain in the rear end. So you have to go through their, log into the university's website, go through and, fill out the information that they require to get and a lot of times they charge for it. So basically, Learning Machine, a Cambridge-based software company, partnered with MIT's Media Lab and Registrar's Office to give students the option to download a blockchain wallet that allows them to securely store and share their diplomas. This person says, I don't believe in one central body having ownership over the digital record of people's learning, said Philip Schmidt, the director of learning and innovation at the Media Lab. The idea is centered on giving students reliable instant access to their credentials that prospective employers no longer need to call the school to confirm academic records. Ben & Jerry's on the blockchain. So this is kind of a cool story. They want to cancel out carbon in every scoop. So carbon's a byproduct when they're producing ice cream or in the production of just about everything. Carbon is basically given off in the manufacturing process. So essentially what Ben & Jerry's want to do, when you pay for your checkout, the ice cream brand will pay a penny to counterbalance the carbon in your cone. The cashier will ask if you'd like to donate another penny to double the impact. So it's a real first It's our first real-world example of trading carbon credits on the high street, powered by blockchain. So there's this huge trail of greenhouse gases after the manufacturing of a lot of different products. So Ben & Jerry's and Mark Spencer have brought carbon credits tradable tokens linked to projects with offset greenhouse gases created by their business operations. So money from the credits is filtered back into projects like building new wind farms, hydroelectric power stations, and planting new forests. So the problem with carbon credits is right now they only work on an industrial scale. Companies can only buy carbon credits in large quantities. So Poseidon, Ben & Jerry's carbon credits pilot, is a brainchild of the Swiss founder of the Poseidon Foundation. Poseidon's solution is to use blockchain, specifically the Stellar blockchain, which is notoriously energy efficient, to break carbon credits into microtransactions that can be attached to every scoop of ice cream. So on a $3 cup of coffee, for example, the carbon offset cost would be about or less than 2 cents. So earlier, IBM announced a partnership with Veridium Labs to help companies offset their carbon footprints. Obviously, IBM has a partnership with Stellar. So IBM's promise that Stellar blockchain can be harnessed to facilitate the trading of carbon credits between companies on an open market. So again, great to see blockchain getting used just about everywhere at this point. ICOs raise over $9 billion in 6 months, surpassing the 2017 figures. So despite the slowdown of cryptocurrency prices, investment in upcoming projects in the form of ICOs has not slowed down at all. It's skyrocketed. So CoinSchedule reported that $9.4 billion has been invested into ICOs in the past 6 months. So it's already topped last year's number. Bloomberg actually stated that the ICO market is still hot. EOS and Telegram have been big successful ICOs this year, albeit not the classic ICO in a sense that Telegram was closed to private investors only, and EOS has been traded on exchanges for a while, which influences the token price. So, this is all in the wake of, there's a group of governmental and organizations that has 60 investigations going on to a variety of questionable projects. So there's a bunch of ICOs facing legal action. Just goes on to talk about how, even though there's all these issues going on, still ICOs are still hot. So then goes on to talk about how the critics believe that there should be some regulation to what Block 1 does with the $4 billion that was generated by the EOS token sale. If you remember from yesterday, I talked about how they've moved a ton of ETH that was raised through the EOS token sale to Bittrex. Obviously, you put it on exchange to sell it. In December of last year, Block 1 tried to clear the worries. They stated $1 billion worth of the funds would be invested in companies using EOS blockchain. So we'll have to see what happens with that. I'll keep an eye out, keep you guys updated. This was kind of a letdown as far as an article goes. Months after raising a $100 million ICO, the Kik founder calls blockchain unconvincing. My first thought is, yeah, he got $100 million. You can talk trash about a blockchain now. So basically he says, unless you're trying to build one of the most used cryptocurrencies in the world, very low odds that blockchain is going to create value for you. The entrepreneur provided insight to his experience with Kik's native digital token, said that the technology wasn't very convincing in terms of widespread practical usage, adding that Bitcoin and a few other cryptocurrencies were seemingly the only real use case. So he also explained that what does blockchain do at the end of the day, he asked. It allows you to have a database that is trustless. It can be applied in a bunch of ways, but most of those ways you still need trust. So, and then he also brought up the fact that the Bitcoin computer is 100,000 times more powerful than the top 500 supercomputers in the world combined. Obviously talking about all the computers using mining and recording Bitcoin transactions. So then he goes on to say how things haven't been smooth, or actually the story reports things haven't been smooth for this entrepreneur. The $100 million project ran into technical issues in 2017. They had to hold off the launch date of Kin tokens, but Livingston remains positive about the token issuance happening soon as the problems are resolved. Then I want to just go over some tweets real quick. So I see this and I'm just like, B2G is the ticker. It's Bitcoin, but it's with 2 I's. You know, I think they top Bitcoin.com as far as Bitcoin Cash, trying to, you know, steal people, or what, literally steal people, you know, confuse new people to come into the space. And yeah, here's the new Bitcoin with 2 I's. So anyways, I think I've basically seen everything after this. But John McAfee, some news, Bitcoin private. They must have got paid a ton of money for this, but he's got his little pirate outfit on, Pirates of the Caribbean. Probably a lawsuit behind this one, but he's got his Bitcoin private. And then let's see if I've got one more tweet. Oh, this one. So this is in the newspaper, TD Ameritrade. And TD Ameritrade says, wrapping your head around the blockchain, not easy. Rolling over your old 401k with TD Ameritrade, easier than you think. As soon as you start to see these huge corporations, TD Ameritrade, starting to leverage people against blockchain a little bit, you know that they see what's coming. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, comment below, and hit that bell for notifications. You guys have an amazing day. Thanks so much.